It's been a very active morning, and that continues here through the afternoon and through the evening, for that matter. It's going to be an active day here for us. We've been watching these thunderstorms here moving across Ohio, Kentucky, now into West Virginia. It's a whole line of thunderstorms that we've been tracking, and along that, we've been seeing a number of warnings, a number of severe thunderstorm warnings, but also a number of tornado warnings that are in place. In fact, now we're outnumbering the severe warnings with tornado warnings at this hour. This whole area of that line of storms is under a tornado warning. East of Charleston. Charleston, you are no longer underneath any warnings, although it is still raining there. The warning and the threat for the most nastiest of the storms has shifted on off towards your east. Let's get a little bit closer here. There's Charleston, and again, there's that line of thunderstorms which continues to push on off towards the east, getting closer and closer to pushing through Clay. That's a tornado warning there for you until 11:45. You got Montgomery in there as well. In fact, the storms are moving right over Montgomery at this hour. And again, along that line, you think, man, this is a pretty big warning. Well, along the line where the threat does continue to be damaging wind gusts, that could be in excess of 60 miles per hour. But the National Weather Service has been watching this line and seeing different areas of rotation, different areas of spin, just too many to count. And so they don't want to issue a whole lot of warnings within that zone. So they're just going ahead and say, hey, this whole area here, this whole zone with this line, let's just put a warning out, a tornado warning, to cover that potential for spin-ups along that line. So be mindful of that. At the very least here, we're talking about some very strong winds here that are moving with these storms, indicated by those deeper shades of the yellow here on the velocity mode. So very strong winds at the very least. And again, areas of spin along that whole line, prompting the tornado warnings. Then we head a bit farther to the south, kind of on that southern edge here of that line of thunderstorms here, just south of the Montgomery area, moving along and over 64, heading over towards Oak Hill. That's another tornado warning that's in effect here. This one is out until 12:15, so we'll be dealing with that for a little bit more time. And again, very similar as we are dealing with here as we put the velocity mode in place. Potential for some very strong winds and very small areas of little spin that's showing up as well. So that's going to be an area that we have to keep an eye on here for, again, at any moment, we could be talking about a brief tornado showing up there. Continuing there up into Spencer. So this is kind of moving northbound here. There's 77 just east of Ripley, Spencer. Now the storms have pushed off to your east, at least the more strongest portions of that line of storms. That will continue to head on towards the east here, right along that 119 corridor. Again, that's another area under a tornado warning for a bit. And again, we're showing some signs. It was looking a little bit better earlier, but maybe right in that area, there's a little bit of spin, maybe one down here. So again, multiple areas of spin showing up there, and the same can be said a bit farther on off towards the north. We'll time out this area here, that's moving its way east, heads up around the Grantsville area at around 11:38, Dodrill at around 11:41. Those are some spots that could be in line to deal with that area of a tornado warning here in the next several minutes. It looks like another one has just been issued here just towards the south, or maybe more of a repositioning here of that warning here, kind of shaving off some of these spots back off towards the west, but still continuing here until 11:45, including Clay. Storms are getting right on top of you there. Be prepared for some very strong damaging wind gusts and the potential here for a brief tornado as well. So that warning out until 11:45. If you're in those areas, including Clay, Gawley Bridge, Smithers, now's going to be the time to get into your safe zone immediate. Where that would be, lowest floor of a sturdy structure and away from the windows. So we're watching these thunderstorms blasting across the Ohio Valley into West Virginia. Molly, farther to the south, we've got more thunderstorms that are anticipated to redevelop all the way down towards even the Gulf Coast.
This is a large area that we're tracking the threat for severe weather. So Alex covered the Ohio Valley and the Mid-South. I want to take it from Tennessee all the way down to the Gulf Coast, where the timing is going to be not only this afternoon, but even through the overnight hours. Let's start in Tennessee, where we've had a number of severe thunderstorm warnings already. Thankfully, we have nothing right now. We have non-severe thunderstorms headed towards Nashville. That will be just round one of what we're anticipating over the next few hours. Mostly rain and some lightning and thunder in the Clarksville area, maybe perhaps embedded in these, some very small hail. But we do expect things to go upscale over the next few hours, and there is a tornado watch out for the Nashville area until 3 p.m. local time. This also goes up into the Bowling Green area. It covers many of our major interstates, I-24, I-40, as well as I-65. Be very careful traveling today. Keep a very close eye on what's going on in the active warnings. We have a tornado of 5 that does include Nashville, where we have the tornado watch already, but goes into areas like Birmingham, Atlanta, all the way down to Montgomery, and our tornado values make it all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Here's what a tornado of 5 means. Dangerous weather is anticipated today. Have your severe weather plan ready to go. We will see tornado watches.